Hey man, let's talk about airsoft, eh? Have I done any? This is my spares pile. This is a new one. These are my favorite. These are the black ones from Taijin. You get them from Eric. They're like $10 a piece, man. If you're buying a tank or something, he might even give you a break. Give you one for like 8. I don't know. During the 20% off sale, they were 8. Anyway, it's a brand new one. If you've never taken one apart, they're pretty simple, really. The motor. See if I got one with a motor in it. The motor turns a bunch of gears in there, and it just basically pulls back on a rack that's spring loaded. And then when it gets to the end, it clicks off and the rack runs forward. There's 2 stages. The first one is that the little bolt will click forward and push an airsoft BB into the chamber, I guess you'd call it. All that is a black rubber seal in there. The airsoft BB sits in that, and then it pulls the bolt on the inside. It pulls it's like a piston, pulls it back and lets it go, and it pushes the air forward, and it comes out through the bolt and hits the BB and shoves it out the end of the barrel. It's a pretty simple concept, really. It's pretty, whoever came up with it is pretty smart. But anyway, I've got a couple of spare turrets, and they work really good for testing airsoft units because they're pretty easy to put in. And all you got to do is on the 3-pin plug. Let me see if I can figure out how to show you this the best way. Give me just a second here. You can test them with a 9-volt battery. I already know, you've gotten enough into the tanks that you should probably run down to Radio Shack and pick up a few things that are going to help you if you're going to play with these. One of them is one of these. Pop it off there. Actually, they come 5 in a pack at Radio Shack. They're like $2 or $3, and you get 5 of them, and they'll stick right on the top of a 9-volt battery. And they're handy for all kind of stuff. Not only can you test all kind of stuff with a 9-volt battery, from gearboxes to airsoft motors, but also while you're at Radio Shack, they got these that are 4 AA's, so that's like 6 volts. This one I got a Futaba J plug on it because I use it for binding receivers. And so if you're going to start playing with the airsoft guns, those are a couple of things. These are things that are good to have. I keep this turret around, and we'll get to that in a minute because I'm going to take it apart and show you how that crap works. Just in case, underneath the Jagdpanther, you can see it all when you pop that hull top off. But anyway, I got this Tiger 1 turret that I keep around for testing. And the Walker Bulldog is pretty good because it's really easy to take gears in and out. Or it's really easy to take airsoft units in and out of. I'm trying to make sure you're going to be able to see this. So anyway, once I put a gun in a turret like that to test it, I just use the 3-pin. It'll run the elevation and the airsoft. So you just plug the positive into the red, and then you got two wires, 2 black wires. One is your negative for your elevation, and the other one's for the airsoft. This gun ain't too bad. I'm shooting against the wall, and the BBs usually drop right down into the trash can that I get sitting there, so that works out pretty good. I've also got a box that I taped a piece of paper across the front of, and a good airsoft gun will penetrate that paper, and then the box catches the BBs, because they wind up all over the house anyway. What are you going to do? Okay, now listen carefully. You'll hear it click and then fire. You hear that little click right before. Quick fire. Quick fire. Quick fire. Quick fire. Okay, the last one, I didn't do that on purpose. I just lost connection, but it worked out really good. Because that click is, as it comes forward, the first part of the bolt pops forward and pushes the BB into the chamber, then it continues to draw the main piston back, and then it releases that, and bam, shoots the BB. So, changing them, if you haven't yet, is a breeze, man. I do it all the time because, like I keep saying, they're $10. You get your turret. I got to make sure you're going to be able to see this. I think I'm pretty central. And I got this one unscrewed already. This is a Walker Bulldog, but they're almost all the same on their hookup. Now some are different. The Panther G is very different. It's got a different system in it. The new Sturm Tigers have got an airsoft unit that sits sideways and traverses the barrel, and I'm really interested in that for the Jagdpanther. And you might be too. If I get something good, I'll clue you in on it. One of the really cool things about airsoft units is you don't have to solder or anything. If your airsoft unit, if you can still hear that motor turning, it's still good. so you don't have to worry about changing the motor. What do I do with my little file? Alright, just there it is. Just get yourself something round and flat. There's the gear for the airsoft motor. Now it'll have a plastic tab on here that's held on by one screw. You pop that off. I don't think I got a handy one to show you. There's not one on this one either because I've been testing it. There is one on this unit though. Let me take this out of the bag so you can see it properly. This is what you get from Eric when you spend $10 for a airsoft unit. This little plastic cover comes off with one screw right here because it's got the tab on it right there that locks the motor in place. So once you remove that plastic cover with that one screw, you can then take something around. Your airsoft unit will be in there. It'll be all wired in place. You're all set to go. You just push on that brass pinion and that motor will pop right out. And now that one wasn't wired, but this one is. Okay. Now these are pretty simple and pretty common. They've usually got a capacitor soldered across them. That's to prevent electromagnetic interference, and that usually goes towards the back. Okay, so just pay attention when you take it out which side the cap is on. If it's at the back of the unit or front of the unit. And sometimes you might have to reach in there with a toothpick or something and twist the gears around a little bit to make them line up, and then it'll just push right in. And then when you put that piece of plastic back on there, that tab will lock it in. So now that motor is locked in place, this one isn't going to fire unless I put the bottom back on. But then you just take your battery and check it out. It'll still do its thing, but it won't actually fire a BB because it's upside down, so it won't load. You can hear the click pop on this unit really good. Listen. That first click, that's important because there's a rubber seal in there. And if that rubber seal isn't good, you'll get a really weak airsoft gun. It's got to hold the BB in place, but not too tight. It's got to be just right. That's why airsoft units are such a crapshoot, man. Sometimes you get really good ones and sometimes you don't. But I'll tell you what, if you want to replace your airsoft units, especially in the Jagdpanther, I even got a hull top here. I can show you that. I got mine. That's my that was my Jagdpanther lower sitting on the bench there. I took the pinion off so I could take it to work and measure it, but that's a whole other story. Turn this so you can see it without losing any BBs. Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in here with the lighting. Yeah, I lost the cable. But this is really easy. This one happens to have two screws across it that hold it out. Okay, a lot of them, in fact, most of them, are like the Walker Bulldog, and it's just got the two trunnions right there, and when you put the top in place, it's got mating pieces, and it just locks and holds it in place, and it'll have a spring right under here. You can see that in your Jagdpanther. So they're usually pretty easy to take out. A few of them, like the Panther G, are a real pain in the butt, but most of them are fairly simple and not difficult to work with. So on your Jagdpanther, you'll just have the two screws on each side, and the whole unit will lift right out. And to change the barrel, there's a screw on each side right here. You pop those in, and the barrel will pull right out. I can show you that on the Bulldog, how easy that is, because it comes apart really easy. Let me show you. Once you take the top off, or actually the bottom, the unit will lift right out. The whole thing will lift right out. When you go to put them back, you want to make sure you put the tang underneath the elevation unit and get everything, and it'll just slide right in there. And then when you put it back together, it'll lock itself in place. You've probably done this about 50 times, haven't you? Well, if you have, bro, just skim ahead to the end. What did I say? See you next time. That's like my trademark. Almost every video I make at the end, I say, see you next time. That's how you know it's a genuine squad video, right? That's all it takes is pop those two little screws, and the whole barrel pops right off. Now, the Bulldog has got a metal insert because it's a plastic barrel, but a lot of the metal barrels won't do that. This one you can slide the insert right out. But you got to be careful because your warning LED is right there. If you got an IR tank, that's your IR emitter is right there. So that's how you change your emitter if you want to try and get a better emitter in there. But like I said, they're pretty easy. They pop together, and it's no problem, you know. So if you think you can handle changing an airsoft unit, I know that one of the drawbacks is that if you want to tune your airsoft units and stuff, you got to have a lot of spare parts, like I do. So if you want to try to put better airsoft units in there, you got two ways you can go. You can just buy a new one, see if it works good. If it don't, call Eric and complain. Maybe he'll send you a replacement. Or we could do something where I could tune it up for you and send it to you first, you know. Think about it. Let me know what you want to do. You want to improve your airsoft units? You want to try it yourself? I'll be more than willing to help you. You want to just replace them with new ones? They're cheap, bro. They're $10 a piece. For the ones that you got in there right now, if they're weak, there's probably not a whole lot you can do without having the spare parts to do it. The first thing I would do is change this rubber seal. You know, I'm not going to use this unit because it's wired. Let me grab a different one. Yeah, I'm going to need my trusty dental pick if I can find it. This one will work. Let's see, let's get a seal. Yes, it does. All right, I'm going to pop this seal out of here if I can reach it with this hook. Yep, no problem. Show you what I'm talking about. This rubber seal right here. This is what catches the airsoft BB and holds it. And they're kind of, I think you can put them in either way you want, but you'll notice that they're a little bit conical. And I put them in with the narrow end in first. And that way it catches the BB and holds it just right until the burst of air comes and drives it out. Then if you look down inside there, you won't be able to see it on the camera. You'll be able to see the whole bolt mechanism. If you've never done this before, if you really want me to, bro, I'll take one apart on video for you. I got plenty of them, let me tell you. So anyway, that's the story on airsoft videos, or airsoft videos. Hello. It's like 10 o'clock at night in Detroit, and it's been a long, long day. I still got to put the rest of the Panther back together. So anyway, think about it. Think about what you want to do. What do you want to do with your tanks? You want to replace your airsoft units? You want to try and tune up the ones you got? You want to get some from me that are already tuned? Whatever. Give it some thought. Let me know what you think. See you next time.